Folks, a grand jury just rejected the Trump regime's effort to indict New York Attorney General Letitia James yet again. That's right, as Catherine Faulders reported, a federal grand jury in Norfolk, Virginia, refused to indict New York Attorney General Letitia James, which was being sought by the Trump regime for alleged mortgage fraud on Thursday, multiple sources said, rejecting the Department of Justice's attempt to refile the case just 10 days after a federal judge dismissed an earlier criminal case based on the unlawful appointment of the unlawful U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, Lindsay Halligan. And we're getting word right now from Abby Lowell, the lawyer for New York Attorney General Letitia James in the criminal case, who successfully got the dismissal of the original criminal case based on the disqualification of Lindsay Halligan, the unlawful United States attorney from the Trump regime. Here's what he says as the grand jury rejected this indictment of New York Attorney General Letitia James when the Trump regime tried to refile it. The grand jury's refusal to re-indict Attorney General Letitia James, says Abby Lowell, is a decisive rejection of a case that should never have existed in the first place. A federal court threw this case out after President Trump illegally installed a United States attorney to file baseless charges against Attorney General James that career prosecutors refused to bring. This should be the end of this case. If they continue undeterred by a court ruling and a grand jury's rejection of the charges, it will be a shocking assault on the rule of law and a devastating blow to the integrity of our justice system. Now, one of the things that you should note as well is that New York Attorney General Letitia James, again, had this case dismissed previously from an unlawfully appointed United States attorney, Lindsay Halligan. But even as of today, as Lisa Rubin points out, Lindsay Halligan, even though the court said, you're done, you're over, you're an imposter, you're unlawful. Look right here from court documents today out of the Eastern District of Virginia. Lindsay Halligan is still playing dress up like it's Halloween trick or treat. She's still pretending to be the United States attorney. This was from a filing in another case that Halligan brought or that she was involved in today. You see the date on top right there? Look at the filing. You see document 1, December 4th, 2025. You see that right there? It says Lindsay Halligan, United States attorney and special attorney. And she's still signing her name right there. Get off these pleadings. Stop tainting all of these cases. Don't bring these frivolous cases in the first place against people like New York Attorney General Letitia James, but your behavior is going to taint other cases where there actually may be crimes committed. You're done. Go away. Nobody wants you here. You're a fake. You were an insurance lawyer, a beauty pageant contestant before that. You were a horrible lawyer with a horrible reputation who never had prosecutorial experience, and you've screwed this all up. You made a fool of everybody. You made a fool. Your whole legacy is being an utter fool right now, and you're still signing your name to pleadings? Are you kidding me? And I'll just share this with you as well. What we're hearing from Ken Delaney and Carol Lenning, Washington Post and MS Now, they've been doing great reporting this week. Let me go and tell you, they've been doing great reporting. Delaney says, now after this grand jury in Norfolk declined to indict New York Attorney General when they've tried to refile this mortgage fraud case, he's hearing the Justice Department is going to try again. You're going to keep on going to other grand juries after the case was dismissed the first time, now rejected by a grand jury. Y'all know the expression that a grand jury can indict a ham sandwich. Like, you all know the way you watch the MeidasTouch Network and you watch Legal AF, I'm sure. So you know how, oh, by the way, can you subscribe to the MeidasTouch YouTube channel right now? We're on our way to 6 million subscribers, and the Trump regime's attacking us. State regime media known as Fox is attacking us. I'm sure you've seen their attacks this week. You may think you're subscribed, but you may not actually be subscribed. So let me just emphasize right now before going on, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. We're so close to 6 million, and I want to be able to keep providing this fact-based, receipt-based, actual legal analysis. You know, I'm a professor at a law school. I teach this stuff. So I just want to make sure we get the accurate information information, going back to anything. They say you can indict a ham sandwich. It's because during grand jury proceedings, the defense is not in the room. The target of the indictment's not there. So it's just the prosecutors and the grand jury. A judge isn't even in the room. The prosecutor's supposed to exercise their prosecutorial ethics, inform the grand jury about what their role is to find probable cause. They call the witness or witnesses before the grand jury, and then they ask the grand jury to sign off on a true bill, to sign off on the indictment. And during the first round, the only person in the room was Lindsay Halligan, who was not a lawfully appointed individual. And we've reported, and others have as well, that she gave the grand jury false legal instructions, lying about the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination of Comey and potentially New York Attorney General Letitia James, but definitely of Comey, provided incorrect false legal instructions about the burden of proof. With respect to Comey, Lindsay Halligan put on an FBI agent who wasn't allowed to testify because he was exposed to attorney-client privilege information, and so it was tainted to begin with, and then she was unlawfully appointed. And then she never even presented the actual in the Comey case, she never even presented the operative grand jury to the full grand jury. She went back, printed out another copy, and just had the foreperson sign something that she never showed the full grand jury. It didn't matter in the sense because she was unlawfully appointed in the first place, so both cases got dismissed on that basis. But then they went back, they refiled against New York Attorney General Letitia James. As far as we know, they haven't yet filed again against Comey. We'll see what they do there and see if a grand jury rejects that. But they refiled in Norfolk, Virginia today, and they did not get that indictment of New York Attorney General Letitia James. The grand jury rejected it.
You hear that? That's the sound of nostalgia meeting something brand new. I've always loved soda. It's one of those small joys from childhood I can never quite quit. But let's be honest, the sugar crash and the guilt, not so great. That's why I'm obsessed with Olipop, the new kind of soda that actually supports your health. Their latest collab is so fun. It's the Pineapple-iest soda from Bikini Bottom, a limited edition flavor called Pineapple Paradise, inspired by SpongeBob's iconic pineapple home. It's juicy pineapple sweetness with a splash of mandarin, pure liquid joy, just like SpongeBob himself, and each 4-pack has 5 collectible SpongeBob can designs hidden inside. It's like a treasure hunt. You never know which one you'll get. Collect them all and unlock sweet rewards at drinkolipop.com/SpongeBob. Olipop has all the soda taste you grew up with, but only 2 to 5 grams of sugar per can and 9 grams of prebiotic fiber to support your gut health. Get $2 off a 4-pack of Olipop, any flavor, including SpongeBob, at drinkolipop.com/Meidas. That's drinkolipop.com/MEIDAS. Available online and in stores nationwide at Walmart, Target, Whole Foods, Kroger, Publix, and more. Olipop, soda you'll actually feel good about drinking.
By the way, also today, look at all this news from Politico. Prosecutor who subpoenaed Letitia James could be disqualified, judge suggests. If you're like, Ben, why are you repeating the same story twice? We're 7 minutes into this video. You're just going to know. This was in another case. So the New York Attorney General also argued in court, in a New York federal court, that this other U.S. attorney, John Sarcone III, wasn't legally appointed. Trump's doing all these unlawful United States attorneys across the country. And just so you're not confused, each state has different district courts. Some states only have one if it's a smaller state. Big states like California have Southern District of California, Central District of California, Eastern District of California, Northern District of California. New York's a big state, multiple districts. Each district has a different district court judges, but then each district has a United States attorney who's supposed to be appointed by the president and confirmed by the Senate. You can be an interim United States attorney for a finite period of time, 120 days, but the president only gets one ability to appoint one interim for those 120 days. And if the federal judges in a district don't extend the service or term of that United States attorney, and they don't go through a confirmation process, meaning the Senate doesn't confirm them, they're out. They're now unlawful. You get one shot with one person, interim, 120 days as your U.S. attorney. Then you got to get them confirmed by the Senate. Every past president, you get them confirmed by the Senate. And if the Senate doesn't confirm your person, you fire him and you bring in a new person that the Senate confirms. so that they're not interim or acting. You actually have the real people. So Lindsay Halligan, why she was unlawful the first time around is because Trump already appointed an interim who was a Republican who said there's no case here. Remember the statement that I read from Abby Lowell? The career prosecutor said there wasn't a case. So Trump fired him and tried to bring in a second interim. The law doesn't allow two interims. And just so you have that statute, if you want to look it up, it's 28 USC section 546. You get one interim. Halligan would be the second, unlawful for that basis. Now, the first interim, his time was extended in Virginia, but he said there's no case. Then Trump fired him. So if your term gets extended, you can still be the interim for a little bit longer. So Trump did the same shtick in New York. John Sarcone, no prosecutorial experience. A federal judge suggested Thursday that she may disqualify a Trump loyalist as the top federal prosecutor in the Albany region federal court, a move that would extend a string of losses to the Trump administration's gambit to circumvent the Senate confirmation process to install U.S. attorneys. During oral arguments, U.S. District Judge Lorna Schofield, appointed by Obama, appeared poised not only to toss the prosecutor John Sarcone III from the top job, but also from other posts that might allow him to serve in the same capacity. The legal fight stems from an effort by New York Attorney General Letitia James to quash a pair of subpoenas Sarcone's office issued earlier this year related to civil cases she brought against Trump and the National Rifle Association. James argued the subpoenas are invalid because Sarcone wasn't legally appointed. Sarcone, a Republican lawyer who ran for office unsuccessfully several times, had no apparent prosecutorial experience when he was appointed as a temporary United States attorney. And he had a tumultuous start to his tenure that included listing as his home address a location that was actually a boarded up building on a police affidavit. When Sarcone's 120-day interim posting period expired, the district judges in the Northern District Federal Court by Albany declined to appoint him to continue on the job, nor did they select a substitute. They didn't appoint anybody. So he's gone. Goodbye. You then can't do these subpoenas as pretending to be the United States attorney. Same thing, Alina Habba in New Jersey. She tried to pull this crap in New Jersey, and she continued to call herself, I'm the United States attorney for the district court in New Jersey. They only have one United States attorney, one district in New Jersey, smaller state. And the courts, the Third Circuit, the federal judges said, get out of here. No one wants you. Stop pretending you have this job, weirdo. Just get the heck out of here. You were sanctioned $1 million when you were a lawyer in the Trump case because you're such a bad lawyer. Get the heck out of here. So that's what's going on. I'm just giving you the lay of the land all over the country. And so just to give you the quick summary one more time, New York Attorney General Letitia James, remember, case dismissed the first time, Lindsay Halligan, unlawful prosecutor, case goes away, her and Comey case goes away 10 days ago. Today, U.S. tries to refile, grand jury says, nope, no indictment, get the hell out of here. And then Trump's DOJ is like, I guess we're going to do it again. Let's try it again. This is just Loserville. These are thugs. These are corrupt individuals, and they're freaking losers. The Department of Justice was once something exalted. It was once something beloved. They didn't get it right all the time. Don't get me wrong. Was there corruption? Indeed, of course there was. But it was good lawyers doing good work amongst all administrations. Not anymore. It's a bunch of losers because that's Trump's life and world. Losers, losers, losers. But a winner today, New York Attorney General Letitia James, as the grand jury rejected that indictment. Thanks everybody for watching. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.